What's going on, YouTube, man? Welcome back to another video. Now, before we jump into today's video, man, you should have know what you should have been did. Like, comment, and subscribe. We trying to save the world. We trying to save as many people as we can. So make sure you hit that post notification bell so you don't get that post nut clarity, my guys. Now today we got another truth talk video. Y'all know we run deep with the truth is, man. You know, hopefully one day he reaches out to me and we can do a little collab. You know what I'm saying? If you're a real one, you gonna spam, you gonna go in his comments and spam up, do a collab with the life of Javaughn, because I really want to get in contact with this guy, man. You know, I feel like we can actually do a lot together, you know what I'm saying? Pause if that came out the wrong way, but today we got the sinister truth about the NFL. Shout out to my guy Theo. Seems like he's the only one giving me these bangers. What's up with y'all, man? I told y'all, if y'all got any reactions y'all want me to react to, drop it in the Discord, man. So shout out to Theo. You know, he sent me this video and I was like, wait a minute, the NFL? I'm very curious to see what he got to say about the NFL. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the video, man. Let's get it, man. Let's go.
Hey guys, I hope all is well. Thank you for joining me for this Truth Talk video. In today's episode, hey guys, I hope all
y'all bear with me. My Wi-Fi is kind of tripping today. I don't know what is going on
as well. Thank you for joining me for this Truth Talk video. In today's episode, we'll be talking about the sinister truth about the NFL. But before we begin, I just wanted to let you guys know that if you'd like to further support this coffee mug, check out the Truth Is store. The link would be in the description. Now, world,
might have to
with
go
an average
support.
of 90. The NFL is one of the most watched sports broadcasts in the world, with an average of 99 million viewers per game, with the Super Bowl seeing on average of 208 million viewers per game. In the year 2021, the NFL made roughly $18 billion off merchandise and sponsorships, with a good amount of that money coming from the Super Bowl itself. Even though the NFL is watched and loved by millions, many people have no clue about the truth regarding the NFL, why it was created, and what purpose it truly serves. The NFL is one of the most influential sports broadcasts in the entire world. Watching the football game has become a part of American culture. The Super Bowl is seen as a nationwide cultural event, almost like an unspoken holiday. During the Super Bowl, even people that don't normally watch football throughout the season still go to Super Bowl parties or watch the game at their house. Sports, just like music and TV, serve an important role in our society, control the minds of the masses. Just like rappers and actors, professional athletes are made into icons for the masses to worship. These athletes become just as influential as a rapper with a hit song or an actor in the biggest movies. The reason for this is because the Freemasons own and operate everything that influences the masses. It is no different with the NFL. And in this video, I will show connections I have found that links the NFL to the Skull and Bones, Freemasonry, and even ritual offering. I am sure some of you who are true football fans might know the name Walter Camp, who is considered the father of American football. He is considered the single most influential person in the development of traditional football, distinguishing the sport from rugby and soccer origins. Walter was the one.
Even the guy that found basketball, I feel like he was probably a Freemason too. What's his name? I think his name is like James Naismith or something like that. I feel like all these men who found these sports are all Freemasons. It all ties together. I wouldn't be surprised if he was a Freemason.
One responsible for establishing the rules of what we now call American football and the game's eventual development. Some of you might have already known that Walter Camp is known as the father of football, but I'm pretty sure most of you don't know that Walter was a member of the Skull and Bones, a secret society within Yale University. Walter attended Yale University as an undergraduate from 1876 to 1881 and was eventually invited to join the Skull and Bones. Many important people have been linked to the Skull and Bones, like presidents, politicians, and world-leading businessmen. Some of the biggest members are George Bush Jr. and George Bush Sr., Frederick W. Smith, who is the founder of FedEx, Harold Stanley, which is the co-founder of Morgan Stanley, and one of the most important members was former President William Howard Taft, who his father, Alfonso Taft, was one of the co-founders of the Skull and Bones organization. I have said in the past that the Skull and Bones were connected to Freemasonry, and I saw a few of you telling me I'm wrong. Well, here's 100% proof that they are linked. Alfonso Taft was a Freemason and actually comes from a family of Freemasons. His son William Howard Taft was also a Freemason. Alfonso was a part of the Kill Winnings Lodge, number 356. Alfonso created the Skull and Bones using Masonic knowledge and ideologies. This is why many of the symbols seen in Skull and Bones are similar to Masonry symbols. This is also why we see so many Skull and Bone members running our country, because in reality, they're just really rich and powerful Freemasons. There's so much information on the Skull and Bones that we need to discuss, so if you guys would like to see a full video on the Skull and Bones, comment Skull and Bones below. Now that we have established that Walter Camp, the father of American football, was a Skull and Bones member, a part of the Masonic Order, we can start to see the NFL for what it really is. More Masonic programming created to further influence our minds. We saw the same connection in the video I made on the NBA. As a creator of basketball, James Naismith was also
I just said this, yo. That's crazy.
a Freemason. These sports were
I
created
knew
to
it.
serve the Masonic agenda, just like the music industry in Hollywood. In the music industry in Hollywood, we can find what appears to be many instances of ritual offerings, and this is exactly what I have found in the NFL. Aaron Hernandez was a player on the New England Patriots who was drafted in 2010. He would play his final game on January 20th, 2013, as he would eventually get arrested for taking the life of Odin.
If you know, you know, man. I think that Aaron Hernandez story was on Netflix. Let me know if y'all watched that. Man, I feel like he was definitely like an offering. But let's see though. He had to be a sacrifice. Bro, it runs that deep, man. Like, I even feel like Kobe was a sacrifice for the NBA.
Lloyd.
Like, it
Fast
gets
forward
that
4 years
deep.
later, Aaron Hernandez eventually get arrested for taking the life of Odin Lloyd. Fast forward 4 years later, Aaron Hernandez's body would end up being found in his cell with a very disturbing message.
What was in Aaron Hernandez's final notes to his family? Good evening, everybody. I'm Ben Simino.
And I'm Erica Tarantel. We're also learning exactly what Hernandez drew on the wall of his cell and what the correctional officer responsible for checking on prisoners told investigators. Investigative reporter Kathy Curran has it all. Kathy?
And Erica and Ben, sources tell us that correction officer told investigators that he last saw Aaron Hernandez around 1 in the morning. And then when he went to check at 3 a.m., there was a sheet over the window of
Mind you, she said 3 a.m. If y'all know anything about the witch hour and all that stuff, y'all know that it's 3 a.m. None of this is a coincidence, man. Like, wake up, man. These people who's on the news, bro, man. Oh, let me rewind that for the people in the back. She literally just said 3
cell in the
a.m.
morning. And then when he went to check, that he last saw Aaron Hernandez around 1 in the morning. And then when he went to check at 3 a.m., there was a sheet
3
over
a.m.?
the window of his cell door. There was no check at 2 a.m., even though hourly checks are required. Hernandez was in cell number 57 of the General Housing Unit in Sousa Baranowski. As we've reported, before he took his life, he wrote letters to his family and lawyers and made several drawings in blood on one wall of his cell. Sources tell us there was a large drawing of the all-seeing eye of God on top of what...
Wait. This is deep. Hold on. Now I gotta read John chapter 3. Hold up. I'm gonna read it aloud to y'all too. This is deep. What? Hold on. I'm gonna have to go on. Hold on, y'all. I gotta read this now. I'm gonna let the video play. All-seeing eye, unfinished pyramid.
What's known as the unfinished pyramid.
Bro.
Under the symbol was the word Illuminati in all caps. And on that same wall, he wrote John 3:16, and a Bible nearby was open to that verse. Rosary beads were also hanging on the wall.
As you heard for yourself, Aaron Hernandez was found, and by the wall his body was found. There was a Masonic all-seeing eye and the words Illuminati written on the wall in blood. There was also a Bible verse written on his forehead, which was the verse John 3:16. According to authorities, Aaron appears to have ended it all and wrote this message himself on the wall and on his...
Hold up. So John 3:16 says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life." Oh, Okay, that makes sense. Wow. That's crazy, man.
His forehead. We also learned that Aaron's body was found at exactly 3:05 a.m. We already know that 3 a.m. is considered the devil's hour, or the witching hour, which to me points directly to a ritual offering, especially with the Masonic all-seeing eye being written on the wall in blood. Not even Aaron's own fiance believes that Aaron did this to himself.
I remember people saying
on the wall in blood. Not even
Aaron's people saying she looked like Bow Wow. Hey, that is so true though. She kind of does look like a female Bow Wow.
His own fiance believes that Aaron did this to himself.
Of Aaron Hernandez, who is breaking her silence about his bars, saying for the first time that she believes he did not commit suicide. Amy, you've got the details.
That's right. Last month, prosecutors and state police ruled Aaron Hernandez's death a suicide and subsequently closed their case. Now, Hernandez's fiance is raising questions about the circumstances surrounding his death. And that suicide note, she says she wants answers.
Shayana Jenkins Hernandez speaking out for the first time since her fiance, former NFL star Aaron Hernandez, and mother of their 4-year-old daughter, says she has reservations.
I don't think this was a suicide. Knowing him, he was very positive.
Shayana also questioning the authenticity of the supposed suicide note from the former Patriots tight end.
See that it was addressed to Shay instead of Babe or Bay, the way he would refer me. It wasn't personal. It wasn't intimate. It was, I don't know, there were some odd parts.
And that Bible verse, John 3:16, police say was written on his forehead. Shayana says Hernandez was not religious and had never quoted that verse before.
It was spiritual, but he wasn't the kind of guy to get up every Sunday and go to church.
As you heard for yourself, she openly admits that she doesn't think Aaron did that to himself or wrote that note that was found in the cell. This to me clearly points to a sacrificial offering. I also find it interesting that the same day Aaron's body was found, the Patriots won their Super Bowl championship. There's just too much evidence, especially how the guard checked on him last at 1 a.m., but skipped checking on him at 2 a.m., leaving enough time for whatever was going to happen to him to happen. I am pretty sure that there's just as many Mason players in the NFL as there is Mason artists in the music industry and actors in Hollywood. I am also certain that those who run the league are most likely Freemason. I am not the only person that believes this either. Former NFL player Larry Johnson confirms this exact thing. Larry Johnson was a running back for the Kansas City Chiefs, getting drafted in 2003. Larry on many occasions has come out exposing the NFL and the NBA for pushing the Masonic agenda. Larry has tweeted about the leaders in the NFL all being Masonic puppets and how they were pushing the agenda that we have seen artists in the music industry like Lil Nas X pushing. If you guys would like to know exactly what he tweeted, just Google Larry Johnson, football player, speaks out against Masonry, and you'll find tons of tweets. Larry even seems to call out Dwayne Wade as well, as he claims Dwayne Wade is a Freemason who is also pushing the Masonic agenda. In my opinion, I agree with Larry. The NFL is ran by Freemasons and is used to push the Masonic agenda. We also see tons of Masonic imagery in many different Super Bowl performances. In Madonna's 2012 Super Bowl performance,
oh yeah, them Super Bowl performances, man, straight, it'd be a whole bunch of hidden messages. Like, bro, look at this. Look at this.
A Roman-themed performance loaded with tons of Masonic imagery. The performance starts with Madonna sitting on a golden throne while she's wearing golden horns on her head. We can see her doing Masonic poses as she is brought to the main stage. We see one of the dancers is dressed like the angel of music, which is supposed to represent Lucifer, who in heaven was head of God's choir before he was casted out. We see the dancers dancing around Madonna, making an obvious reference to Madonna dancing with the devil. We saw more Masonic imagery in Katy Perry's 2016 halftime performance, where she performed her song Dark Horse. The entire stage turned into a Masonic checkerboard floor as Katy Perry sang about magic and spells. We also saw tons of Egyptian occultic imagery in the 2000 halftime show that was hosted by no other than Disney. At the beginning of the performance, we saw Mickey Mouse casting a spell on the audience as tons of occultic imagery is then shown to the audience.
Wow.
The Weeknd's halftime show was also very dark and telling, especially if you saw the breakdown I did on him. The performance is a continuation of the story he was telling with the music videos from his After Hours album. The story that openly showed how The Weeknd sold his soul and was now a Masonic puppet being controlled by Lucifer. I can literally make an entire episode on the halftime performances as they're all full of Masonic references.
Wow.
I also find it interesting that Jay-Z would end up working with the NFL in 2019 as Roc Nation would strike a deal with the NFL that would allow Jay-Z to pick upcoming music acts for the halftime show.
Man,
You're probably thinking, this guy has it all together. If only you knew the journey it took to get here.
Before I started using Curology,
We all know that Jay-Z has been openly showing Masonic imagery throughout his entire career. This is no coincidence that he will be picked for this position, as him and the NFL are both pushing the same Masonic agenda. The NFL, just like the music industry and Hollywood, are used to spread the Masonic agenda. And
Jay-Z has to be like a top-ranked Mason at this point, because don't he still own the Brooklyn Nets, if I'm not mistaken? And now he's partnered with the NFL. Bro, this man must have some strong, heavy ties, bro. Like, who you know is really doing stuff like what Jay-Z is doing, or has access to do.
Distract the masses so they can guide them to a burning end. As we have seen in this episode, the NFL is tied back to Masonry, just like we have seen with everything else on the world stage. Many people to this day believe that some of the NFL's biggest games are actually staged. Whether this is true or not, I believe it could be a possibility, as we all know the Masons love to control the narrative. I am not telling you guys not to play football or even to stop watching it. What I am telling you is that there's a battle for your mind. They need you devoted so they can manipulate you. If you enjoy playing football, that's not at all a problem. Just don't let the sport take over your
Not a coincidence. Not a coincidence Tom Brady plays for the Buccaneers and it has a skull. So he's probably a Skull and Bones member. It's not a, bro, I'm trying to tell y'all, man. It's not, none of these things are coincidences, man. Like,
is that there's a battle for your mind. They need you devoted so they can manipulate you. If you enjoy playing football, that's not at all a problem. Just don't let the sport take over your life. And don't allow yourself to idolize those stars, as they will guide you to a burning end. The NFL might appear harmless from the outside, but once you start to dig, you can see the truth for what it really is. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching.
So that was the end of this video, man. This video was deep. Like, yo, he really went in on this video, man. Like, I learned a couple new things today. You know, even with the Aaron Hernandez thing, I didn't know that he wrote the pyramid and Illuminati. I didn't know he did all of that. You know, and then John chapter 3 verse 16, like that is deep. I didn't know any of that until this video. You know, so shout out to The Truth Is, man. If you guys learned anything new or took something valuable from today's video, make sure to drop a like, comment down below your thoughts and opinions, man. Share this video with a friend because they will need it. Look, man, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I'll catch you in the next one, and I'm out.